Hello, everybody. Chris here with another weekly news roundup for you. I hope you've all had a good week. Let's jump straight into it. Quite a few items this week. Probably the biggest one, public sector unions have accepted the government's below inflation salary increase offer. Trade unions have conceded that the government cannot afford their demands for salary increases in 2021 that amount to more than 8%. They have settled for a 1.5% salary increase and sweetened cash allowance. The majority of unions representing public servants accepted the offer of a below-inflation salary increase, ending a long impasse between both parties that could have undermined efforts to stabilize South Africa's deteriorating public finances. About 60% of trade unions accepted the government's offer, which includes a quote, once-off pensionable salary increase of 1.5% from 1 April 2021 to 31 March 2022 for public servants. This is a blanket salary adjustment because it will be offered to all public servants regardless of their number of years in service or existing salary level. In terms of Mango Airlines, we've gotten more information now for the first time of the airline's dire financial situation. Mango, which is a state-owned airline, last recorded a profit in 2018 despite several efforts by the board and management to turn its fortunes around. The low-cost airline plunged into a loss of 497 million rand in 2020, a disruptive year for the aviation industry as a whole. Now, the true financial situation of Mango had been opaque for many years because the audited financial statements of the state-owned airline were never released for public consumption. However, the airline's financial books have now been opened. They show that the airline has been sailing close to the wind, close to the edge, as it were, in recent years. Mango, which is owned by the government and is a subsidiary of SAA, last turned a profit in 2018. And in this way, Mango has followed in the footsteps of its parent company, South African Airways, which was last profitable in 2011 and has recorded considerable financial losses since then. In Mango's case, the airline recorded a profit of 105 million during 2018 financial year, then swung into a financial loss position of 134 million in 2019. This loss swelled by more than 3 times to 497 million in 2020. Mango's financial position was unveiled in court papers by trade unions representing the airline's 750 workers. The unions, including the National Union of Metal Workers of South Africa, the South African Cabin Crew Association, and the Mango Pilots Association, want Mango to be placed into business rescue by the Johannesburg High Court because the airline is fast running out of cash and cannot honor payments to creditors. It also hasn't paid salaries for June and July. On outstanding salaries alone, Mango owes 157 million rand to its workers. It last paid full salaries in April 2020. Moving on, the Treasury has announced a 38.8 billion rand relief package for the poor and business support that will not affect the budget framework because it will not require more debt. The package will be funded by higher than expected tax revenue, with 33.85 billion rand being new money and 2.65 billion rand funded by the reprioritization of departmental budgets. The government is also taking 5 billion rand in revenue measures by increasing the employment tax incentive, which allows employers to claim rebates for low-paid employees. The government is already burdened with a mountain of debt, and any addition to it would not have been received favorably by credit rating agencies, which are keeping a close eye on whether the government sticks to its fiscal path of debt stabilization. However, since February, when the budget was tabled, revenue overruns have been large, with economists projecting they will reach 80 to 100 billion rand by the end of the fiscal year. In terms of some hope, as it were, or signals of hope coming from within the governing party, there was a very interesting article this week in Business Day by Enoch Godogwana. He is the former Deputy Minister of Public Enterprises and of Economic Development, and is Head of Economic Transformation for the ANC and chairs the Development Bank of Southern Africa. Now, in this article, he says that we must balance growth, interventions, job creation, and social grants. He says that the question arises, why should we condemn young people, the majority of whom are black, to a life as grant recipients? Should we not be investing in their transition into the world of work and more productive, better paying economic activity? To create fertile ground for such a strategy, we must, quote, simultaneously focus on growing the economy. Key elements of such a growth strategy will include, among other things, structural reforms, public investment, particularly in infrastructure, and small, medium, and micro enterprise support, including access to finance. To support this, we will need appropriate macro policies animated by a series of pro-investment reforms. So all the right buzzwords there, all the right ideas, things for which the FMF has been advocating for many years. You can't have job creation and capital formation without having the right policies in place first, and of course having policies that punish investment, such as expropriation without compensation. So I'm trying not to read too much into this, that the whole government at the moment is going to accept, yes, we need to implement radical economic freedom and radical economic transformation, positive economic transformation, but at least there are hints here and there of I guess, reality hitting home, as it were. Transnet recently suffered a cyber attack. So according to the company, the state-owned company, ports are mostly back to operations. However, force majeure is still in place. South Africa's ports are mostly back to normal, according to government, after last week's cyber attack on Transnet's IT system, which led to chaos and disruptions at the country's key container terminal. The return to operations is good news for the economy, as the Transnet port and rail system are the backbone of the economy. That was said in a statement by the Public Enterprises Ministry in a statement on Wednesday. Transnet declared force majeure following the attack on 22 July, which essentially means that an unanticipated or uncontrollable event released it from fulfilling contractual obligations. Gavin Kelly, CEO of the Road Freight Association, said its members could not get cargo in and out of the ports, while Terry Gale, chairperson of the Exporters Club of the Western Cape, said the situation was a, quote, total nightmare. Gale said Transnet's manual system was very slow, but at least it can get some containers moving. The ministry, as of Tuesday night, the Durban container terminals were fully functional on the system, and the truck booking system was activated on Wednesday. So hopefully this problem gets sorted out. Of course, it came on the back of violence and looting in KZN and Gauteng, so disruptions to South Africa's trade network could not have come at a worse time. And then finally, on suspended Minister of Health, Dr. Mkhize, the Special Investigating Unit, which is seeking to recoup millions of rands spent on the controversial Digital Vibes contract, has accused Health Minister Mkhize of unlawful and improper conduct for his role and wants his family to repay about 4 million rand. In court papers filed in the special tribunal on Thursday, the SIU wants the 150 million rand contract reviewed and set aside, and for those implicated to be ordered to pay the SIU or the Department of Health the money they received with interest. The SIU said Mkhize put pressure on Health Department Director General Malebona Matsoso via repeated text messages to approve the communication contract for Digital Vibes, a company that counts his former personal assistant and secretary as owners. At best, this conduct on the part of the minister was improper, and at worst, the conduct of the minister was unlawful, the SIU said in an affidavit. The SIU also stated that, quote, there is evidence that the minister has directly and indirectly received gratifications from Digital Vibes, end quote, citing 3.8 million rand that flowed to Mkhize's son Dedani, while another 6,720 rand was used for repairs at Mkhize's Bryanston property. So on that note, we're told that the National Health Insurance will deliver improved health outcomes for everyone. Well, if you give government more power to and be involved in the economy, you exponentially increase the chance for corruption. So at least now we have some indication of the SIU report, and this puts pressure on President Ramaphosa to take action on suspended Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize. On that note, we'll end. Thank you very much for your time as always. I hope you found this episode useful. If you haven't yet, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please also like this video and share it on your respective social media channels. I hope you all have a good weekend. I'll talk to you all again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.